This week on SCSU Local, we take a tour through a campus art gallery and follow up on the First Amendment Forum.
We will also be saying Viva Las Vegas as we get a sneak peek at some of the newest technology the media industry has to offer.
We will be hearing about all these stories and more on today's all-new SCSU Local, and it starts right now.
Welcome to the show that features Central Minnesota. I'm Josh Ackerman.
And I'm Danielle Latour. Thanks for tuning in today. Art is a way to bring people together, and the Student Art Show at St. Cloud State aimed to do just that.
This art exhibit featured selected artworks created by SCSU students. Let's see what this exhibit has in store.
The student art exhibit is for artists. Here you have to be a full-time student at St. Cloud State, not necessarily an art student or art major. They submit up to 2 works of art, and it can be any media. That means sculpture, drawing, painting, even performance art, video art, things like that.
I'm William Holt. I'm a graphic design and printmaking major at St. Cloud State. This is my 3rd year, and I've probably got quite a few more years, so we'll see how long I make it. I submitted 2 pieces. One was a book about Dieter Ram's 10 Principles of Good Design, and another was a smart plate litho print called $80,000 in a word you can't say on television. The book was simply information about what makes good design, and the print was about piracy and digital file sharing and $80,000 per song that Jamie Thomas was fined.
The show is a juried exhibition, so that means somebody else comes in and looks at all of the work that was submitted and then picks whatever pieces they want. And it's a really cool opportunity because if you get into the show, it's a really good thing for your resume to say that you got into a juried exhibition.
It's different every year. The juror kind of picks a little bit how they want to do it. Sometimes they do like first, second, third, or sometimes they pick 3, 4 people and give them all the same type of prize. And they give away scholarships, and sometimes Atwood purchases some pieces. And the dean sometimes purchases some artworks.
There's a surprising number of off-campus people that come into this gallery, so it's pretty exciting to have my art in a place that's not just the walls of an art building where all the art students see it. And so the audience changes, and that makes me think about the way I create art differently. But it's pretty exciting to submit something and then have actual artists reviewing it and deciding whether it's good or not, and getting some more honest feedback in that way is really nice.
And the student exhibition is just up for the last few weeks of the year, so it's really your only chance to see what your fellow students at St. Cloud State in the art department, what kinds of work they're creating.
My name is Ryan Brink, and it's my 5th year. I'm a printmaking major. This piece is called Bill Howard. It is part of a small series of 3 prints. Each one has an old wrestler. It shows them in kind of this light of being larger than life and like almost like a godly big person, you know, whereas these little people are looking up at him. It also came with my fascination of shapes and kind of boxing them in, putting them in their own arena.
Art isn't a really well-defined term, and in my graphic design work I kind of think that everything is either designed graphically or at least designed in some way aesthetically. And so basically everything I see I consider the design of the object, and anything that's been designed well I consider art. So, I mean, everything has a capacity to be art, and yeah, it's a big impact on my life then.
It's cool to see, you know, this person comes in that he doesn't know us at all. He doesn't know what kind of work we make here at this school, and creates a show out of it. It's different every year, and it's a fun opportunity for people to show their work.
This student art exhibition takes place just once a year, every spring semester, right at the end of the semester. It's open here in Keel Hall, the art building, and it's open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. So you can just go in and wander around and check it out for yourself. next week or the week after. It's really a chance, especially for the dedicated art students, to show their work. It's something they can put on their resume, so it's a really good opportunity, an important thing for the art students here on campus.
Students really seem to have a lot of artistic talent.
I'll be interested in seeing more of the art that is being displayed.
Now, on our last episode, we mentioned the First Amendment Forum that was taking place here on campus. The forum recognizes the rights that are given to journalists and members of the media here in the United States.
The forum also covered the duty of the media to bring balanced and fair information to the public. Let's hear more from the people who participated in this event.
I'm John Bodette. I'm the executive editor at the St. Cloud Times and Times Media. I've been there for 37 years. The award is the First Amendment Award, and it's for a professional for their work in trying to uphold free speech and to do things either as a member of the media or as a member of the community to try to promote the First Amendment freedoms that we all enjoy and yet never can take for granted. You know, people often think that we do this just simply because these freedoms are only for journalists. They're not. They're for all citizens. And while we might be among the most vigorous fighters to keep those freedoms open, we do it on behalf of everyone. The First Amendment to journalists, and that means that there will be a free flow of information, that we will do our jobs as journalists and free press unencumbered by government interference. It means that public meetings should be open. It means that public records should be available to citizens so that they have an opportunity to know how their tax money is being spent, how the decisions are. It's just part of our open society, and I think that the founders included this in the Constitution because they realized the important role that a free press provides in a democracy. The citizens are the ones who make the decisions. The citizens need unfettered information so that they can make those decisions. And that's where I think we come in.
My name is Bob Cowan. I'm a photojournalist at WCCO Television in Minneapolis, and I've been there since 1970. A couple of the other panelists are, I feel lucky to be with them, really. They've done some amazing things that have really affected people's lives and shed light on areas that needed to be illuminated more. So it's more about investigative journalism. I brought a DVD with stories about Romania that we did in 1990 and 91. And those stories, took people to Romania, I think, and then showed some of the situations there. Life is very much different there.
The image of children rocking back and forth in their cribs, the image of an orphan in a bleak and crowded institution, an image that changed a Minnesota family.
I feel that those stories changed people's lives. In 1991, we started promoting the stories of our return trip there, and we found out through a voice message that a guy had gone to Romania with pictures he took off the television from our first set of stories, and found a particular child, and he spent a couple of months there going through all the legal hoops, and he brought that child back to Minnesota, and she's been living there with them for the last 20-some years. And to know that that particular child, her life was saved, really, by this family. And they've gone on, and we just found out this last fall that that same family has adopted like another 12 kids from around the world, all special needs kids. And so it changed their lives as well as the little girls' lives. And it's one of those things where you realize that something that you did ignited a spark, and that spark spread to do a world of good.
And on this special day, she is the reason this family gives thanks. The question was asked, Bob Cowan, of course, was the photographer, Pat Weiland was the producer, and Pat asked Bob the other night, what would have happened if you hadn't taken her picture?
And if you hadn't seen Jan that day with the candy in his crib, too.
There are 130 stories like that in Minnesota. Kids who have new lives. It's going to be fun to watch them the next 20 years or so.
And they're really going to understand the meaning of Thanksgiving, aren't they, in years to come?
I think they will.
Don Shelby's experience as a reporter is just an example of the power of the media to change lives.
This just goes to show future journalists what an impact they can have on the world.
Well, after the break, we will visit the world-renowned Las Vegas to the BEA-NAB conference.
We will also be checking in with the St. Cloud Symphony Orchestra to hear about the success of the Russian Romantics concert. Don't go away. SCSU Local, we'll be right back.